Good morning. Today I'm going to give a quick garden tour. This is the first week of May in Santa Clara, California, and I'm just going to show you a quick tour around my garden. So first, we'll start off at our grapevine. So this is the first full year, first spring flush of growth. I bought this last year as a fairly small twig, and it's leafed out pretty nicely. We even have some baby grapes. Let's see if I can find them. So they're right over here. So there's maybe 2 or 3 clusters this year. So that's looking good. Moving on, we have just some herbs here, some thyme. This back fence only gets like 4 or 5 hours of sun. So it's a good place to put some things that don't need as much sun. And moving along, we have some potatoes, and this is a third grow bag. I think this is a mix of Yukon Gold, some variety of blue potatoes, and some variety of red potato. So that maybe has another couple of weeks before we can harvest it. And over here is our mulberry tree. This is a dwarf Everbearing mulberry, and it's second year in the ground. So as with most mulberries, they grow very quickly. And this year we got a pretty nice crop of berries. So you can see that we have berries all over the tree, some of which are ripening up, and we've been starting to pick from them. So it's been a fun tree. Moving forward, this is main raised bed. So in this cage, I planted some watermelon seeds, and I also have some watermelon starts, which I'll probably transplant in today, hopefully. And then we have some cucumber plants under those mesh baskets. And I have those mesh baskets to try to protect them from the insects and the birds while they're still young. And once they get a little bit bigger, then I'll take them out. And in the front, we have some peppers. The first one over here is a Jimmy Nardello pepper. It has a lot of blooms, so hopefully it does well. This next one is an overwintered Jimmy Nardello. You can see the transplant one is already grown a lot larger, so I'm not sure about overwintering in this zone. The next one is a lipstick pepper, and this was also transplant, but it had some severe sun damage when I planted it at the beginning, so it needs to recover. It's another lipstick pepper next to it. These are red small peppers. And then behind we have a cherry tomato called Sakura, one of my favorite cherry tomatoes to grow. And the reason why is it has a lot of clusters close together. Sometimes that's called a short internode. And you can see down here it's already starting to set some tomatoes. Moving back, we have another overwintered pepper. This is a Lunchbox pepper, and this one's doing a lot better than the other one, overwintered pepper. And next to it here we have a dwarf tomato. This is called Tasmanian chocolate. So last year I grew a dwarf tomato called Rosella Purple, which tasted really good, but had a bunch of disease problems in my garden. And I actually had 2 plants, and they both had those disease issues. So I decided to try a different dwarf tomato. So we'll see how this goes. This is a cherry tree. This is a dwarf Lapins cherry. It's the first year we're getting fruit. I think last year it had a lot of stress. I didn't water it quite enough, and it was a very dry year. So this year I need to do a better job. So we got only 2 small cherries. So we'll see what happens. So I bagged them just to protect them from the birds. Moving on, this is another cherry tomato called Celano. So it's supposed to be semi-determinate, so we'll see how big it gets. Again, we have this PVC mesh that me and the kids built, and there is cucumbers, which are being protected for now until they get a little bit bigger and can deal with the birds and insects better. We have our rose bush, and then here in this little shaded area we have some raspberries. This is golden and raspberry, and so we have some flowers on here. So this is an everbearing raspberry. So some of these canes, like the ones in the back, are first year canes, so they'll fruit in the fall, and then the one in the front here is a second year cane, so it's going to fruit earlier, maybe in the summer. Nearby here in the shade is a sun gold cherry. So my plan is to trellis it up that string and try to get it higher than these trees that are around it. And next to that is a citrus tree called Golden Nugget. This is just the first year I've planted it. And there's some mint here in the shade. So stepping back, this is an angle of our two big trees, the fig tree in the back, and this apricot tree. This is one of our favorite trees. So this year it does not have as much fruit as previous years, but it's flushed out very nicely. I think again it was because of the really dry year and I didn't water it enough. But we still have like maybe 20 or 30 apricots on there, so not terrible, but not as much as previous years. So stepping back around, you can see that we have our another fruit tree here, which is Sakura apple. Same thing, not as much fruit as last year, but we still have some apples on here, so that's good. It's another angle of you can see how big our apricot tree here is. It just goes crazy. It has to be pruned all summer long to keep it in check. So here's our grow tower, which mainly has strawberries, one snap pea growing in there, and up here some parsley. It's doing well. It usually has problems with insects, unfortunately, with spider mites and aphids, but it doesn't look too bad right now, but I probably need to do something about that. Here on the table we have some of the extra starts. I think these died from overwatering while we were on vacation, but it's okay. But these are the extra ones that haven't made into the garden or haven't been given to friends. Over here we have an overwintered pepper plant, which I want to move because it doesn't get as much sun here. This is its third year. It's another Lunchbox orange, which I found overwinter really well. And actually this one was grown from seed that I saved. So this is second generation in my garden, and it's overwintered for multiple years now. So it's given a lot of production. This bush nearby is a gardenia. Coming over here, we have a blueberry, so Southmoon, which has started to ripen up. Some blueberries in here. Fortunately, the birds got to the first couple, so that's why I've put this insect netting, and hopefully it's good enough. Insect netting is really a pain to deal with. Here's another raspberry patch, which is 3 years old, but I haven't had as much luck with. It looks better this year though, so we'll see what happens. It's a heritage raspberry, another everbearing raspberry, and again there's a mix of first year and second year canes. So you can see here it is flowering, so we'll see how the raspberries look. Next to here is a snap pea variety called Snack Hero. It has nice long snap peas. I don't think it tastes as good as the ones I've been growing before, which were Sugar Sprint. So I might go back to that variety, but it's not bad. See here we have a citrus. This is a bear's lime, which has been growing. Beneath here we have some strawberries that this is their third or fourth year, and they probably need to be refreshed. Here we have a nice full strawberry growing underneath our pomegranate tree that's in a container. So we haven't got any fruit from this yet. This is its second year as well. There's a lot of flowers on there. I don't know if we have any female flowers though yet, so we'll see. Besides that, we have our blueberry, another blueberry. This is Sunshine Blue, which has smaller berries. Hopefully we'll see if the birds get to this one, whether I have to net it as well. And underneath it, it has also another strawberry and some lettuce. Besides that, here we have some flowers. This is a jasmine, which has a lot of spider mite problems. It's known for being a trap crop for spider mites. Some more flowers. I think these are zinnias, some onions. And then up here we have more strawberries. I should note most of the strawberries here are a mix of Albion and a French variety called Des Bois. And in my experience, the Albion does better in terms of diseases and being vigorous. But the Des Bois does have a nice kind of strawberry flavor, almost candy-like. So that's it for the garden tour for May 2021.